So this is what it looks like from this end. I have to say, I am overwhelmed by the opportunity to speak with you this evening. It almost makes me speechless, but not quite. I walked in the door, and Rosemary, we are friends on Facebook, and when I first saw the flyer, I looked at it, glanced at it real quickly, and then I went back and I go, wait a minute, I think I know her. Wait, that's Rosemary. She's going to be there? And then Candy Carson, we had met about a year and a half ago in Des Moines at the debate when my daughter and I went because, well, it's American. I just wanted to go to a debate, so X that off my bucket list. It has been a very busy week at our household, and my daughter and I had just returned late Sunday night from Philadelphia where we had our biennial convention, and so it was very special to go to Philadelphia where our whole country started and to see where we're at now. I've reached the age where I actually need glasses to read up close. And so I want to tell you a little bit about our organization. It's 65,000 members over that nationwide. And what we are known for is we are the organization that got the women the right to vote. And so a lot of people don't know that. And that is very, very important. It's something that many people do not have. It's a very blessed thing that we have. I want to say how nice it is to look out and be among this group of people and not see any pink-eared hats and not see any nasty little signs and comments, because I was fortunate enough to go with my husband and another couple to the inauguration in January. And if you ever have the opportunity to go. It exemplifies everything that is great about our country. The brightest flag, the shiniest brass, the greatest band, the polished marble. But this particular time, what happened is we had what exemplified the values of what we are not as women, what we are not as mothers, and we saw that on Saturday. Being a mom is the absolute toughest job you're ever going to have. You may be prepared for it, you may not be prepared for it. You will wonder, am I doing it right? You can read all the books you want, but throw those away sometimes and plan for the opposite, and you're going to be a lot closer to what you need to know. I have two daughters, a 20-year-old and a 17-year-old. And last weekend at our house, while I was in Philadelphia with my daughter, my husband was busy doing a hockey thing and developing a new league, and my youngest daughter was having homecoming. So we are all over the place, helping and volunteering. I want to tell the moms and the daughters here, and I want to talk to the men and the boys. There is absolutely nothing wrong with class and elegance, with having manners, with having respect, ethics, wanting to work, a work ethic. You know, nothing comes easy, nothing's free, nothing's hard. It's not all roses and peaches like everybody thinks. Sometimes you're so focused on the goal that you miss the purpose of the journey. I'm here to tell you, as a mom, you're here as a mom to prepare your children for adulthood, to be a good person, to be a good steward, to help those. We are not here to pamper you and make sure your feelings aren't hurt and that everything is all right, because it is not always going to be all right. It is not always going to be like you plan. It is not going to be wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Then the bottom drops out and you have no control over it. You can't control everything. You can't control anything. But what you can control is how you deal with it. You do not sit there and, okay, I'm going to say, yeah, sometimes I walk around and I talk to myself and I whine. And then I'm okay. I figured out what to do. You know, I've sat up in the middle of the night sleeping in the chair with the sick child. You get up, you still go to work the next day, or you're walking around and you're like, how many nights is this? But you look back, and when they're a teenager, you give anything to be awake and rocking them in a chair, because that was easier than sometimes when they're a teenager. And then when they get older, you're like, well, I told you so. And then the day comes and they go, Mom, you were right. Or as my youngest daughter told me, well, when I go to college, I am not going to move home. And I said, well, hallelujah, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to be out there on your own, having your own mission, your own goals, and your own dreams. Now, I'll be here when you come home, and yes, I'll make your pistachio cream cheese dessert, but don't expect me to be here every weekend, because Dad and I are going to be going and doing something. I want to thank you for having me here this evening and speaking to you. It is an honor to be a president of this organization. It is a dream come true. I've met a lot of people. I've traveled with my daughters. And the best thing to know is they have been given opportunities you can't learn in a book, you can't learn in a classroom. And I'll give you an example. 2 years ago when we went to our national convention in Phoenix, my oldest daughter went with me. She was a senior in high school at the time, and she was on the yearbook. Carly Fiorina was a speaker. And she says, well, Mom, do you think I'll be able to meet her? And I said, well, I don't know. Anything's possible. You know, it depends how the room's set up, what schedule is, what's going on, where we're at. She goes, okay. So I send an email to the president. She forwarded it to the political director. Later that day, I get an email back. I forward this on. She's like, ooh, that's one step closer. So then the next day, we're all checked in at the great Desert Ridge Marriott Resort, which was fabulous. That's another perk. Every 2 years I get to go to some great retreat. It works. And I get an email, and it says, Carly has granted her a 10-minute interview tomorrow. I was like, whoa. I'm on this side of the room, and I said, hey, Lauren, I got a response. And she says, well, I said, you have a 10-minute one-on-one interview with Carly Fiorina tomorrow. She screamed. She ran back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, screaming in the room. She was so excited. Then she goes, oh, I got to call my teacher. So she calls her teacher and tells her, I have a 10-minute interview tomorrow. She's over here, I'm over here. I hear her teacher screaming with excitement on the phone. So meanwhile, then they're all excited what they're going to do. The other students are emailing her questions back and forth. And the next day, I watched her prepare. I watched her ask questions. She got a picture. It was amazing. The next day, Ted Cruz, same thing, 10-minute interview. She goes back, and there are kids in her class of 2 weeks all over the school asking her about it, what it was like. Are they like this? Are they like that? That's making a difference. She was 17. She is not going to waver on what type of principles are important. You have a choice to make a difference in your life. It's what you do with that choice and that opportunity. Thank you.